can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think that
But before you do, I'm going to interrogate the position, then you can interrogate mine.
I would just like to have some back and forth.
That's the fair way to do it.
Well,
but the problem
no.
is you just divert.
Wait, no, that's not true. The first conversation we had,
Andrew Wilson is having a debate with Kyla Turner, and she makes the mistake by assuming that this is a conversation. This is not a conversation. This is a debate. Andrew Wilson is a blood sport debater. This is not a conversation. In a debate, especially in the style of Andrew, it's proving your opponent wrong, destroying their points and their position, whilst never having to make a claim himself. Right? He keeps his opponent on the defense. That's a brilliant tactic, and he's the master at it. He is a brilliant and smart guy. And Kyla thinks this is a conversation. It is not a conversation. It is a debate. And he normally does a fantastic job at controlling the debate, but she kind of starts to call him out.
First
segment. I don't care about the meta. Just let me finish the interrogation of the position.
Because you're doing like the sneaky bad faith thing.
How's it bad faith to want to interrogate your position?
I haven't said you can interrogate my position. I said, can you wait for a second so I can ask you some questions? Because in the case where I was interrogating your worldview with the first prompt, I also allowed you to interrogate my worldview in return.
Let me do the interrogation first, and then you can do yours second.
Okay, so do you think that we should
No, I said, let me do my interrogation first. You can do yours second.
I'm saying I would like a back and forth.
But all that does is derail from the questions I have.
In this moment, he's actually pretty honest, and I think it's quite funny. He's telling her right here, no, this messes up my tactic. This is not my style, and if I don't continue my style, I will not have the upper hand. This is going to mess up my questions. No, we need to do it my way, not your way.
Derails from the dunk that you're trying to lead me into. I understand that it does that. Well, because what you're trying to do is to get to some foundational thing of being like, see, it's born on nothing. And it's like, okay, Andrew.
That's what's bad faith.
Do you want to just go to Agrippa's trilemma?
Not allowing your position.
Everyone knows that this is what's happening.
Wait, you're saying that your position, when it's interrogated, its foundation is going to be incoherent?
I would say every single foundation of any worldview, normative, or meta-ethics is unjustifiable. Yes, this is what axioms are.
Oh, really?
They all fail Agrippa's trilemma. Yes.
Oh, because of Agrippa's trilemma.
How do you not fail Agrippa's trilemma?
Oh, man, that's really weird. Tell me again, what does Agrippa's trilemma say?
It's dogmatism. All justification systems fail at a foundational level because they will fail in one of three ways, or all of three ways. Dogmatism, infinite regression, and circular reasoning.
Is that position justified?
No.
Okay. So anyway, back to this.
Wait, so you run away from Agrippa's trilemma? Okay, but you know what?
I ran away from it?
Yeah.
You just said that Agrippa's trilemma is not a justified position.
Well, what do you mean by justified?
Well, whatever you mean by it in Agrippa's trilemma.
Well, it's an internal critique of justification systems. What do you mean is Agrippa's trilemma unjustified? It is a philosophical tool that we can utilize to understand that at a foundational level, no belief systems. How do you solve Agrippa's trilemma?
Like truth?
How do you solve Agrippa's trilemma?
Well, it's self-refuting. This has been known for 1,000 years. I don't know if you know this or not. It's a self-refuting. Agrippa's trilemma is self-refuting.
So how do you not engage in dogmatism?
If all things are axiomatic,
you
right?
Assume.
The reduction to axiomatic, are we making a truth claim?
You are making a truth claim.
Okay, and is that truth claim justified?
No.
No.
Yeah, because you assume. Wait, are you not making a truth claim?
It doesn't matter.
Of course it does. Are you not making truth claims?
Wait a second.
Does your moral system not utilize truth claims?
Did you posit an argument to me, which was Agrippa's trilemma?
So, he will not answer the question. He will not contend with Agrippa's trilemma, which is very interesting, right? Because he's from what I can see, obviously he disagrees with the trilemma. He says it's self-refuting, yet he will not even attempt to show her that. He just avoids it. She tells him, aren't you making truth claims? He will not answer the question. He will not make a claim. He will do everything in his power to avoid making a claim, because then he will have to contend with the argument. So, no, this is your argument. This is your argument. He will evade, and he does it brilliantly.
Yep.
And was that argument justified? No.
No more than any. Wait, is your arguments justified?
What does that have to do with you?
I'm internally critiquing you this time.
You can internally critique me with your arguments?
How are you not? So I said, How do you not fail Agrippa's trilemma? And you said, Agrippa's trilemma doesn't matter. That's not how you solve
I didn't
Agrippa's
say
trilemma.
it doesn't
You said
matter.
it's unjustified.
Well, it's self-refuting.
How is it self-refuting?
Because if you claim that you're making a truth claim that's unjustified, then you're not making a truth claim.
So here's where they appear to be both wrong. You can make truth claims. Truth claims are justified, but they are contingent on an assumption. So if we want to measure this room, we need a tool. We need to agree on the tool in which we are going to use to measure this room. And if we don't have an agreement, then we can't really come to a consensus to the dimensions of this room. So we need to come to an agreement. In this case, an assumption. Substitute assumption with agreement in this instance as they continue to have their debate. But we need to have an agreement. Morals are the same way. These are both God-fearing people. They both believe in God. They're both Christians. And Kyla mentions somewhere in this debate that she assumes God, and that Andrew is doing the same thing. He's also assuming God. And from there, you can have objective morality contingent on that assumption. If we're going to assume God, now we could use the Bible, and we're going to use the Bible as our tool to measure morality. Then everything after that can be objective contingent on that tool. It's the same for ought, and the ought is problem, right? You ought not to eat that candy bar. Well, why not? If we don't agree, then you really can't say you ought not to do something. However, if you have a goal and you both have an agreement, hey, we're both, we're trying to lose weight, Bob, we shouldn't eat this candy bar because we both agree that there's an excess amount of calories in this candy bar. There's too much sugar, and if we want to lose weight, we need to cut down sugar, and not eating this candy bar would do that. So we ought not to eat this candy bar. And then at that point, that ought can become true and objective, but it's contingent on a goal. It's contingent on the assumption that we both want to lose weight. We both want to cut down on our calories. Until you have that agreement, then saying you ought not to eat that candy bar is not true.
Sure you are. You're just assuming. Agrippa's
it's not
trilemma, I guess, engages in dogmatism
That
in and of
it's
itself.
not justified?
Yeah. So Agrippa's trilemma, I suppose, engages in dogmatism itself, but how is it self-refuting?
You just explained it.
Every single system is self-refuting them by this
Is that a truth claim?
Yes.
Okay, and does that fail because of Agrippa's trilemma?
Yes,
So
all
should I
truth
take
claims.
anything you say seriously? Because
Give me a single truth claim.
I don't have to make your argument.
He's going to run from this one again. Watch.
Andrew does run. If he disagrees with her argument, she's asking him, well, what's your counter argument? His answer is, I don't have to make your argument. No, he needs to make his own argument if he disagrees. She gave her reasons why she believes that at the foundational level, all things are assumed. If he disagrees, where's your argument? He refuses. And it's, I don't believe that he doesn't understand. I refuse to believe that he's ignorant of what she's trying to ask, right? But this is a blood sport debate. You can't give your opponent any rope to hang yourself with, right? So it's brilliant. He's a smart guy, but she's right. He is running. And it's nice to see that there's someone calling him out because he does this a lot. And it's been a working tactic for him.
Give me a single truth claim that doesn't fail Agrippa's trilemma. Go.
Okay, first of all, back up. Whose argument is this?
Give me a single truth
Whose
claim that
argument
doesn't
is
fail
this?
Agrippa's trilemma.
Whose argument is
I knew
this?
you were going to weasel on this one. I'm just going to stay here.
It's irrelevant that it's her argument. He disagrees. Therefore, he now needs to provide a counter argument, but he cannot, and he will not, because he can't let her control the game. He needs to maintain control. The moment he answers any questions, he will be on the hook to defend his position.
Okay, stay here. Whose argument is it?
Right now, both of us. We're both
I'm not
having a conversation.
Wait a second.
Are we not both having a conversation?
I didn't argue that Agrippa's trilemma is true. You did.
I said it's true in like an assumed way, in the way that all things are assumed. And
So is it true or not?
it's true in like I suppose, true in the way that we mean true for everything else that's true.
What does that mean?
Well, give me an example.
Yeah, it's not my argument. You
So
don't get
if
to interrogate me for
I'm
your
asking
argument.
you- no, I'm asking you for a counterfactual to prove
I
me
don't
wrong.
need to. It's
So
your
my
argument.
My argument is nothing is. Nothing is this thing you're saying.
Nothing's
Can
true?
you provide me a counter?
So nothing's true?
I didn't say nothing's true. I said truths
Then
are
what's
assumed.
true?
Truths are assumed. Tautologies.
Truths are assumed tautology?
Do not. Yeah. No. Truths are assumed. They're
Yeah.
tautologies.
Truths are tautologies.
But oftentimes at a foundational level, yeah,
Often or are?
are.
Are.
Yeah.
So is Agrippa's trilemma a truth tautology?
It's not an axiom. It's a philosophical system, and it's a philosophical equation how you test your own thinking. So how do you?
And so,
you're
okay,
not gonna give me
so
one.
I'm super
Give me a
confused.
truth claim that doesn't solve
I
Agrippa's.
don't
that
have
doesn't
to
fail
make
Agrippa's
your
trilemma.
argument.
This isn't my argument. My argument is all arguments foundationally will fail Agrippa's trilemma.
Okay, so you are
And
making
you're
an
saying,
argument.
You're saying
Yeah.
that's not true.
I didn't say anything like that.
Of course
I
you are.
asked you,
Do you think that
how
that's
it was true.
Wait, so you're agreeing with me that no truth claim?
I didn't agree with anything.
So but you have to. Those are the
I don't
options.
have to do anything. You're making an
I
argument.
guess you could be a coward and you could run
It's
away
not
from the
cowardice.
conversation.
You posit that Agrippa's trilemma is true.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm saying that's assumed because all things are at a foundational level are assumed. And I said, can you give
Okay.
me an example
Is
where
God
that's
assumed?
not true? Yeah, God is dogmatism.
Okay, so you think
Assuming God exists is.
So when
is
I ask
assuming
you,
it.
does God exist, and you say yes, that's not true.
It's true, and I'm assuming it.
How is it true?
It's true because I believe it's true.
It appears we can only have objectivity once we agree, once we assume on the tool that we are going to use in order to measure anything. This room that I'm in is objectively 10 feet wide because we are in agreement on the tool in which we are getting these measurements. Andrew Wilson doesn't seem to understand that at the beginning, it all starts with an assumption.